Good evening,
Abhi,
sir.
good evening, Abhiruchi. Can you hear us properly?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes. Good. So, Abhiruchi, tell us something about yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am from the Mahendragarh district of Haryana. Sir, I've completed my schooling from Mahendragarh district itself. Thereafter, I have pursued my graduation in instrumentation and control engineering from NSIT Delhi. So during my school and college, I have worked at various positions, which is inculcated in me qualities like leadership, communication, and teamwork. So during my college, I have also been a part of the Prayas Society, which teaches students from the marginalized section. And so my hobbies and interests include nature walk and visiting the sacred pond of my village.
Okay. Abhiruchi, because you have studied in Delhi, you have stayed in Delhi for 4 years. That's a pretty long time.
Yes,
Have
sir.
you observed any positive aspects in Delhi, district of Delhi, in the Delhi NCR region, which gave you a sense that these are things done for women empowerment? Like Delhi is always in news for wrong reasons as far as safety of women is concerned. But have you got any sense? Have you observed any signs wherein you felt that yes, this is a positive development in terms of empowering women, in terms of safety of women?
Yes, sir. So the first thing which I think that the problem regarding women's safety occurs during transport and connectivity. So, sir, I have noticed such measures taken by Delhi Metro. For example, there is a separate coach which is reserved for women. There are also safety personnel at metro stations which ensure that the women inside the metro are safe. So apart from that, there's also a helpline 1091 which ensures the safety of women.
Okay, very nice. So, do you think these could be replicated in other parts of the country? Because see, the development of Delhi is at different level. Other parts of the country are at various lower level of development as far as infrastructure, as far as any other parameter is concerned. So, how could this be useful in implementation in those cities or areas?
Yes, sir. Sir, in other areas also, I think the first thing is sensitization of the people and a women police force that can be replicated in other states. So, for example, Haryana has an all Mahila police stations. So this helps women to connect with the police. This helps them to easily access the police and seek help in case of such instances. So these things can be replicated in other states as well.
Okay, you are an instrumentation and control engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what is a transducer?
Uh, so I'm not able to recall it right now.
Okay, so what kind of laws of thermodynamics are used in instrumentations, daily use instrumentations?
So I think I'll have to brush it up.
Okay, doesn't matter. So, what are your hobbies you mentioned?
So I like visiting the sacred pond of my village, and I like nature walks.
What is this sacred pond?
So the sacred pond is a water body in my village, which goes by the name of Baba Dhab, and it is sacred because there are sentiments and feelings of the people attached to the local deity, which is called Baba Dhab. And so I like visiting there because it gives me a sense of peace of mind and it helps me rejuvenate. That's why I like visiting there.
Okay, now these both of your interest, like visiting sacred pond or nature walk, if you are posted in, let's say, in Delhi, you possibly cannot do any of these. So, what actually what that interests you and that keeps you at cool? What is that interest that you follow?
So my hobby is connecting with the nature, and I think nature is such aspect which is present in, I think that can be found in any city, maybe if we talk about Delhi itself, because there are certain parks in Delhi, which, for example, sir, in my college itself, there was a lot of greenery. So taking a tour of the college campus, I liked it, for example, during morning walk. So apart from that, there are also certain protected areas like this sanctuaries and other protected areas where I think I can fulfill this hobby of nature walk.
Mhm. Do you feel that India should take lead to dissolve SARC?
So, although we see that in the present times, the relevance of SARC has comparatively decreased, and that of other organizations like the BIMSTEC has increased. But sir, I don't think that dissolving SARC would be a right thing to do, because so this is also a platform which engages with the South Asian countries, and SARC has its own relevance which cannot be taken over by other organizations. I think we need to take steps to revive this again so that we can lead to a more stable and more integrated South Asian region.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Abhiruchi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Can you put some light on this recent incident, like this incident related to cow vigilantism
Yes,
happened
sir.
in Haryana? Like, what do you think about it? First, tell me. First, explain it in brief, and then I want to know your views on it.
Uh, Recently there was an incident of cow vigilant groups which have been accused of killing two men whose charred bodies were found in the Bhiwani district of Haryana. Sir, regarding my views on cow vigilantism, it is against the rule of law. Have forming such groups which advocate for protection of cows is a good step, because it is also in line with Article 48 of our Constitution, which prohibits the slaughter of cows, and which calls for protection of the breeds of cattle. But so taking the law in their own hands is not the right thing, and it is against the rule of law. So action should be taken against such instances.
Okay, so Abhiruchi, that's the problem. Like action against whom? Against whom? And now there are two states involved,
Yes, sir.
and even the police of each state is accusing each other.
Yes.
And the main accused who has been like even saved, there is instance that he has been even saved by the state machinery. So what do you think? How you can work in this scenario, like as an IAS officer?
So I think in instances like these, there needs to be a smart and sensitive policing, which is required, because it happened that there are allegations by the police on each other, whereas what is required is a coordinated functioning of the police force, intelligence sharing between the police forces of both the states, and so the methods that are employed to investigate and to gather evidence, they need to be improved, which Honorable Home Minister has also called that the days of third degree torture are over, and we need to shift to scientific investigation. So that these scientific investigation process can help in better policing, and can help in better evidence gathering, and can ensure that justice is served to the victim.
Okay, like what you can suggest for this scientific investigation? Now, what more Indian police need to be doing on this regard? Or what are the reforms suggested by that Prakash Badal report regarding investigation?
In order to carry out scientific investigations, one of the reforms suggested is to the use of forensic science. And for this, forensic science universities have also been proposed to be set up. So second, regarding prevention of custodial violence, there have been several suggestions given by the Supreme Court, like installation of CCTV cameras in the police stations, and uh, 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 the grievance redressal mechanism for the victims of for the people who face custodial violence. So these are some of the reforms that are suggested.
Okay. So being a woman and Haryana being your first choice
Yes, sir.
as a cadre, like what you can think or what you can anticipate, what hurdles you can face as an administrative officer in your state, and how you will cope with them.
Uh, First, I think that in the present scenario, because women empowerment is improving and the mindset of people is also improving, I think it is a conducive environment for the women to work in administration. But there might be some challenges. For example, in some cases, there might be challenges of improving the work culture, of taking the entire organization forward with me. There may also be some hurdles, like in cases of women empowerment, like there are instances of honor killings and child marriages. In such instances, there might be a little resistance that I may face. But so I think with my persuasion skills and my leadership and administrative qualities, I will be able to cope up with them.
Name 3 administrative qualities of yours.
First, I think I have good leadership qualities. So I have worked at various positions like the secretary, literary and debating society, the class representative during my college, member of the executive member of the prayer society. So at all these positions, I have learned teamwork and leadership. So second, I think I I have I have dedication and commitment to the work at hand. I always follow a never give up attitude, and my vision is to convert challenges into opportunities. And so third, I have good emotional intelligence, which helps me connect with the people.
Okay. Don't you think integrity is also one of those qualities which we need in the present scenario in India? What
Yes,
what
sir.
what is your take on integrity in civil services?
So integrity is a quality of the highest order which is required in the civil services, because it ensures first the efficient functioning of the entire administration or organization, prevents corruption, and ensures effective utilization of funds. So, sir, I think integrity is one of the most important qualities that is required in a bureaucrat.
What you will do for this forest cover,
Yes, sir.
like to increase the forest cover and make Haryana green again, not by the means of green revolution, but by the means of forest.
Yes, sir. This is one of the challenges faced by Haryana, because the forest cover is around 3%, whereas the national average is around 25%. So for this, I think the first and foremost thing that I would do is Jan Bhagidari, because without Jan Bhagidari and people's participation, no initiative can become a success. So for this integration of several initiatives that are already that are already in the uh, government, for example, the Amrit Sarovar scheme, which talks of rejuvenating the water bodies. So such schemes can be integrated, like around the water bodies, there can be plantation of trees. So second, protection of sacred groves can be there. And third, there are already, sir, some bunnies in the villages of Haryana which are facing the threat of extinction. They can be protected through people's participation. And fourth, sir, I think CSR funds can also be roped in. Other NGOs and civil society organizations can be taken forward to take steps in this direction.
Don't you think that the land which belongs to farming or agriculture, there is this time that Haryana should start reclaiming land from farming and agriculture and start putting trees or bushes in that land, so that otherwise there's no magic happening, because Haryana is having so much of less forest cover. So what do you think? Is it a feasible idea?
Sir, I think agricultural land is equally important because it is important for the food security of not just Haryana but the nation as well, because Haryana contributes a significant amount of food
But
grains to the.
we are already, like, we have ample amount of agriculture yield. So then we can do this.
So even if the agricultural yield is good, I think we still need to improve the productivity. And what can be done is integrating agriculture and forestry, for example, by means of agroforestry. And so reclaiming, rather than reclaiming of agricultural lands, there should be reclaiming of the wastelands. And wastelands can be used for planting trees and improving the forest cover.
Good. Thank you, Abhiruchi.
Thank you, sir.
Abhiruchi.
Yes, sir.
Abhiruchi, you just talked about initiatives taken by Delhi Metro for safety of women. They have separate coaches for women. But do you believe in such kind of policies that if we make everything separate for women, separate schools, separate colleges, separate coaches, will it improve the situation regarding crime against women, or it will worsen?
So, as a short-term measure, these steps are good because they infuse a sense of security and safety in the minds of women who are hesitant to travel to workplaces, and which also leads to their lower economic participation in the labor force. But sir, these are only short-term measures. As a long-term measure, we need behavioral change and sensitization in the people, because that is the root cause against violence against women. So for these steps at various levels should be taken. For example, right from the educational institutions, there should be sensitization of the children that they respect their girl counterparts. There should be sensitization in the offices, sensitization in the families. That is what will help in the long term.
So, out of nature versus nurture debate, whose side you are on?
Sorry, sir, I did not get the question.
Have you heard about the debate ongoing regarding nature versus nurture?
Sir, I'm not aware of the nurture part.
Let me explain. So, a criminal mindset, is it in the nature of an individual, or it is because of the nurturing of that individual, what he has gone through? So that is the nature versus nurture debate. So if nurturing is the case, then we can improve in family, and sensitization will work. But if nature is the case, then how we can address that?
Sir, I think like the criminal mindset or other such qualities, they are not inherently a part of the nature of any individual. Like when the child is born, it is said that a child is like a clay and can be molded into any shape. And how we mold it, that depends on other factors like the upbringing of the child, the role and influence of the family, the peer group, the society, the educational institutions. So they are the ones who nurture the individual. So I think these qualities are not inherently in the nature, but are nurtured because of the external environment. So we can focus on that.
Okay, so PubAd is your optional.
Yes, sir.
Can we use Taylor's scientific management theory in administration?
Yes, sir. Sir, in fact, Taylor's scientific administration theory is already in use in administration in the form of O&M units and the working internal working groups, which are internal study groups, which are formed in the organizations to study the scientific, or we can say the to do the work study of the organization. So they are already in place, and they can be further improved by employing more scientific means in administration, and on doing the, we can say, an analysis, a SWOT analysis of how the things are happening and how we can.
Can you tell
improve
me some 3 concrete points through which we can effectively implement scientific management theory in administration? Concrete ideas.
Yes, sir. Sir, can I take a moment?
Yeah.
So the first thing is that we need to do a scientific study of the work, and for that, that also includes scientific study of the human resource which is employed. And the recent mission Karmiyogi, which is launched, that is in line with the Taylor scientific management theory, because it focuses on customized and needs-based training. So second, scientific, Taylor's theory also talks about scientific wages, and that is done through, for example, uh, there is performance linked incentives which are given in the administration, so that the efficiency of the individuals can be improved. So that is what I am able to think of right now.
Okay. You studied from Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology.
Yes, sir.
Who gave the title of Netaji to Subhash Chandra Bose?
So I'm not sure about it.
Okay. Any ideas of Netaji which you do not admire?
So I admire all the ideas of Netaji, because I see that if there are even any differences, then it was due to the context in which those ideas were given. So if we look at those ideas in that specific context, I think all those ideas were admirable.
Animal husbandry and dairying. Do you feel that it is responsible for animal cruelty? And should we altogether motivate our people to go completely vegan to stop this?
Sir, the idea of going completely vegan, that can jeopardize the idea of nutritional security in our populations, because a large amount of protein intake on which the population depends is from the animal husbandry sector. So that can jeopardize the nutritional security, and so it can also have an adverse effect on the farmers, because animal husbandry forms a crucial part of the farm income.
So what changes do you propose in that sector?
So here again, I would say that scientific means can be used to ensure that cruelty is not there. For example, there are guidelines by the animal husbandry department of how the animal should be kept, what the shed size should be there, the water and fodder requirements are fulfilled. And so these guidelines for scientific upkeep of the animal, they should be followed to prevent such cruelty.
Okay. What is the definition of courage according to you?
So according to me, courage means not giving up in the face of the circumstances, and even if there might be some element of doubt, but again, rising up every time we fall, that is what constitutes courage.
And what is fortitude?
So I'm not exactly aware of the difference.
Okay, not an issue. Sir?
Thank you, Abhiruchi.
Thank you, sir.
We'll connect with you in a moment. You can wait in the waiting room now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.